First of all, Dorothy and I are so sorry we can't be present with you all, but may I say what an honor it is to say a few words about Tom. Like all of you, I can't comprehend how our lives will forever change without Tom and his perpetual grin. I don't ever remember a frown, but, of course, I wasn't around when you kids were in school, and there may have been times when Tom came home tired, dirty, and smelling like hogs, and then frowned when Barb said something like, "There'll be no mud in here." I first met Tom in early 1960 when Dorothy and I were newly married and were looking for a church. There at the old church on East 18, I felt at ease with the Wilsons, Tom and Charlie, and their families, and we have been friends ever since. I have lost not only a good friend, but also another link to my farm background, which allows me to brag to others by saying, "Here's what my farmer friends say." Perhaps we all have been at a funeral where all sorts of good things are spoken about the deceased, and some family members muttered to themselves, "You didn't know him as well as we did." And I actually read the following in an obituary in the Tribune years ago, and it rang a bell with me. And it said, "He wanted everyone to know he was not as bad as his detractors painted him, nor as good as his friends said about him at his funeral." But I believe Tom was the exception, and neither of those apply to him. In these troubling times, when we see chaos and confrontation in the news, and we wonder if there is anyone we can look up to, perhaps we've been looking in the wrong place. Right here in Galveston, Tom was a model farmer, but what stood out was his dedication, hard work, humility, and character. We could surely use some of that in Washington, D.C. He wasn't comfortable in the spotlight, but I do remember when he and Charlie were named Cass County Farmers of the Year, and their photo was in the newspaper. Now, Tom didn't have a degree from a distinguished university, but just a few days ago, he graduated from the University of Life with a magna cum laude in agriculture and minors in humility, character, and integrity. When Tom walked through the proverbial gates, I can imagine his first words might have been, "Hey, you guys do any farming up here?" And the answer came loud and clear, "Yes, we do, but there'll be no mud in here." In closing, may I make a statement I believe we can all agree on. Well done, Tom, and thank you for a life well lived.